Hi everyone. We were having some technical issues there, so I think I'll just go live. And yeah, I'll just talk about travel. So that was the topic for today. So travel with your baby when they're weaning. So how to go about this. So a lot of questions I get. Sorry, just to introduce myself, I'm Siobhan Berry from Mummy Cooks. So we do everything about weaning, and we have weaning accessories and travel accessories. So today I'm talking about travel and, how do you go from the airport to your destination? Then at the destination, are you going to have to start batch cooking, all of that? So first off, as I said, if a lot of questions I get asked are about, and do enter in your questions as well, and I'll answer them here as well. So a lot of questions is, my baby is coming up to 6 months of age, and we're going on holidays. Should I wait until the baby is home to start weaning? So, it's really important to kind of get going from 6 months and really not to delay it. So I would prefer if you started a little bit beforehand and then continued weaning during your holidays. In terms of allergenic foods, I would not be testing them on holidays at all. If it's that your baby is not yet 6 months, I'd probably do the allergenic foods after you come back. But if it is possible at all, I would probably focus on getting those allergenic foods out of the way as well before you go off on holidays, just in case anyone has mixed some food or some allergen into it. The other question is a lot on, so, we all want to home cook our food as much as we can, but it's not possible to bring, let's say, frozen food. If you were in the car and going to a destination, you cannot put it back into the freezer, but you can bring it for the next few days. So when we cook food, we have today, we have tomorrow, and we have the next day, so we have 3 days to consume the food. So when you're taking food out of the freezer, it does need to go into something that mimics like a fridge. So a cooler bag is a good idea. It's a cooler bag and a cooler pack. So you would add this to a freezer, and then you can take that food along the way. Yeah, so if you are thinking about a trip away, you haven't booked it yet, I would always recommend that you look at maybe an apartment somewhere that you can do a little bit of cooking. But if that's not possible and you're looking at a hotel situation, then that's perfect. A buffet style kind of breakfast would be great for you. And then the other option is, when you're traveling, if you can go by ferry, it's a lot easier to be feeding the baby, to be warming up something, than if you were flying and it was a long flight. But obviously we'll just go with whatever works. If it is that you are traveling with baby on a long haul flight, or even a short flight, we still need to be at the airport early, and we need to be traveling quite a bit of the day. So what I would suggest you do is, plan out the day. How many meals will the baby need? Usually around 3 meals a day, and if they're 9 plus, you'll start introducing snacks. And so let's say if you were going on a flight and it was early in the morning, and actually that's something else, if you're booking a flight, try to book flights that are early, so that we can get the proper sleep then at night. So let's say it was a very early flight where the breakfast wasn't even an option at home. I would take something like dried cereal, or I would take overnight oats or a muffin or something like that they could have once you're past security. So dried cereal is great because once you're past security, then you can add in some heated up milk, or even the baby's formula into it as well. So that's the breakfast taken care of. And then for the lunch, then what I would have done is in the morning, I would have just before you left, I would have prepared their meal. So a food flask is actually a great option. So our food flasks keep food hot or cold for 12 hours. So this would be the main meal that you're going to give your baby. So that's usually, you know, the lunchtime, and it would stay warm for that, or cold actually as well. So how you heat is you put boiling water in for 5 minutes, remove the water, and then add in your food. Now for a small baby, you won't be filling it up to the top unless you're going to eat some of it yourself. But if you're not filling up to the top, I would add one of our pots as well. So you're going to heat this till piping hot into the flask, and then that's the food for your baby when it comes to lunchtime. And then we have maybe the third meal, and we might make that a finger food meal. So we might have some hummus and some muffin that you've made. It is also possible to use pouches. Absolutely, we don't want to kill ourselves, and that would definitely keep in your bag. What I would suggest though is that you bring a bowl with you and you pour it into the bowl. You won't be able to heat it up. No microwaves on an airplane, but like it's okay to offer to your baby when it's cold as well. Then in the bag itself as well, and actually just to say that this is under 100 ml, so it will go through security. Same with your food flask. So this isn't a liquid, this is a food, so it'll go through security. And then you'll have your snacks in here as well. So, you know, it depends on the age of the baby really, if they're even going to have any snacks. So we don't tend to offer snacks until 9 months. So if they're 9 months plus, then you could have some healthy snacks in there as well. And then that will be your full day food. So it is possible to travel with baby, and it is possible to bring the food with them. Now, if you are traveling within your own country and you're going only like 2-3 hours away, we can't have food out of the fridge for more than 2 hours. So it is important to make sure that you have some sort of fridge, a mimic kind of a cooler fridge. So this is where a cooler bag comes in again, and this will keep it fresh. You can have it either coming straight from the fridge, or you could have it from the freezer. And then once you've got to your destination, then that goes into the fridge again, not back into the freezer. So yeah, so that is like traveling and that kind of flight situation. Again, a ferry will be easier because you will be able to use the microwave, and you'll be able to get up and down to the baby. But look, we're not going to get the ferry to the United States or too far. Then when you get to your destination, again, as I said, I would prefer something like an apartment with a little kitchenette. Now, some hotels kind of might have something, some sort of utilities there as well. But yeah, if you have access to a hob, they'll have the pots and pans. All you need then is, depending on the age of the baby, is some sort of blender. I have a food chopper actually, that's a kind of a handheld, doesn't need anything. So, you know, do you have a baby muley, something that can blend or mash the food? Yeah, so things like you're not going to go too mad now with the cooking, so and you don't really want to have to be cooking every day. So you could just pick one meal a day that you might cook for the baby. So the breakfast is easy because what you would be doing there is you would just have the cereal and some fresh fruit, mashing it in, and then for the lunch, then maybe this is the meal that you prepare in the apartment. I have some nice little easy recipes like a tomato and cheese. So you're just peeling the tomato, you're taking out the seeds, chopping it up and onto a pan, then a little bit of butter, a little bit of oil, and you're just kind of frying it off a little bit, and then just at the end add in some cheese, and then literally just swirl that into your pasta. Avocado is another really good one. You can add avocado, and you can make a little creamy with creme fraiche, and then again swirl it into pasta. So it's about just making the easiest dishes you can. I have another, I actually wrote an ebook on travel, and I have like a really simple curry. So in a little pot you could take some curry powder with you, some turmeric, and you could get some frozen vegetables, add some chicken if you wish, cook it all up, and a little bit of curry in it, and there's your curry, with some rice or with some couscous or some quinoa. So you could have all those little bits of those with you as well. So yeah, so again, lunch, maybe the dinner one, maybe the one that you're cooking. You may not be in the house for that or in the apartment for that. You may be out and about. That's where your food flask comes in. So make sure you have your pots. You cook the food, you put it into the pot, and make sure your flask is warm. And then when you're at the beach, then you have food. And I think that's really important as well, because while we might wait for our lunch, baby's not going to wait for their lunch. So it's really important to have the food on you all of the time, and enough snacks all of the time. And then dinner time. I do think when we're on holidays, we do need to have a little bit of a break. So this is where I would definitely use the restaurants for that food. So what do we ask for? So I would ask for something like potato. Maybe look up the language, or if you're in a different country, like what is no salt, so that they don't start adding salty butter into the potato. So you just want a little bit of potato, a little bit of veg. Again, something like a food chopper or something to be able to puree that up. Fish is fantastic when you're abroad. I always think it's something that I always eat when I'm abroad. So just ask for a piece of fish, but making sure that you're checking it for bones. So you're lifting the fish up, and with your thumb and your finger, you're kind of going through it like that, and then into the mashed up meal or pureed meal, and then you're offering it to baby. And it can be as simple as that. A baby can have up to 1 gram of salt a day. So if it is that you've got some fish with a little bit of sauce on it, I would really not worry at all. It's more if we're adding salt or we're adding very salty foods that we're in trouble. So they can have a little bit of salt. So I would, just not to worry too much about that. If we are in a hotel, great, like go to the buffet in the morning, and they have things like porridge, they have pancakes, you could even have your own cereal there. And then what I would do is I would think about lunch when you're in the buffet. Ask the chef there to maybe make an omelette for the baby, some scrambled egg, or have a look around and see, is there something that you could give for lunchtime? And again, your food flask. So if you're at the beach, again, you have the food, and then likewise you go with the restaurant in the afternoon. So yeah, so in terms of not bringing the kitchen sink with you when you're weaning your baby, I would just making sure that they have their the bowl and the spoon. They're familiar with the spoon. So if you have been offering a spoon, maybe make sure you bring that spoon with you. I have a thermo spoon actually, so this is more if you're reheating food. Of course, if you're in a restaurant or if you're in the hotel, that's okay because they'll be cooking fresh and it will be brought above 70 degrees. But if we are kind of cooking it ourselves and then we're reheating, we do need to check the temperature. So that's where that will come in, and then you could just use it as a spoon as well. So yeah, so I would make sure you have your weaning utensils like your bowl and your spoon, the bib. I'd really recommend a flask because it'll just give you so many options that you're not on the beach and you suddenly have to think about a meal for a tiny baby that will not wait. And then start thinking about the restaurants. I always say as well, we may be kind of a little bit apprehensive about going to restaurants in our own country because it's a little cooler and we're inside and you don't want to make a mess. But when we're on holidays, I think that that kind of goes out the window, and you're maybe even sitting outside with the baby. So the mess doesn't matter, the sound doesn't matter. So definitely try and embrace that and enjoy it, because it is your holiday as well. And then, you know, definitely try new foods. So even my own kids, like when we used to go on holidays, they would be quite inquisitive about, you know, what are you ordering? Let's try something new. And even for little babies that are weaning, this is an opportunity to try different vegetables, different meats, maybe not sauces, but different tastes. Even I often think that a tomato is I bring her on. I even think, like, if you eat a tomato, a tomato to me in Italy is so much nicer than a tomato here in Ireland. I don't know if they're that nice in the UK, but they're certainly not that nice here. They're just, yeah, it's just tastes so much better. And I think if you have, you know, if you're getting different vegetables in there, they may have a very different taste, a really different texture for them, and they may go on to eat them then. Yeah, so if anyone has any questions on travel, I would be more than happy to answer it. I'll just kind of maybe run through the different recipes I have. Again, like I don't want to be putting pressure on people to be cooking all the time, but there are some kind of handy recipes that work well. Again, muffins are always super easy, and they would be more for the travel bit. Now, if you were able to bring maybe a few more than one, you could bring the 12 muffins. You could freeze half of them, and then you could you know, throughout the week you could offer the others. So I don't think this thing is working. The other one is apple and cinnamon overnight oats. So that's a really nice recipe there. So as I said, overnight oats is a great one for bringing through the airport. I often do it myself, actually. And that one is medium stewed apple. You can shred it, you can puree it, some ground cinnamon, some porridge oats, and some full fat milk. I'll go easy on the liquid part of that, and then you can add a little bit more liquid then when you're the other side of security. I have a quinoa and vegetable. So again, this is super simple because I'm using some vegetables from the freezer. So when you get to your destination, you could go for a shop. Hopefully you have a fridge freezer, maybe not in a hotel, but in an apartment certainly. And then you just use your frozen vegetables, and then you're just cooking your quinoa or couscous. You're adding some water and then some steamed vegetables. It's as simple as that. And then you bring that out and about. That does have texture in it, so I would say that's more likely to be from like a 7 or 8 months plus. Now the quinoa it has a little bit of texture, but it's not considered in any way a choking hazard. So with the other vegetables, I would be mashing them for a smaller baby, and adding it in. You can, of course, blend the quinoa and the vegetables together. That's fine. The only thing I wouldn't do is blend something like pasta or blend white potato, because they are starchy and they would turn kind of gloopy. Quesadillas are lovely as well, so I did those. They're lovely for everybody. So I have some cheese, some smashed avocado on there. So again, you know, you can get some beautiful vegetables over there. Avocados are lovely when they're in season and nice and ripe, and just mashing that with a little bit of cheese on it, and then some tortillas on a pan, hoping that you have those kind of things available to you. There's my quick curry. It is so simple. As I said, you're taking along a little bit of turmeric, a little bit of curry powder, not the whole thing. You could just add them in together so that you could think about making that curry when you're over there. So I have half a small onion, I have some frozen vegetables, and then some chicken and some coconut milk. And again, you are cooking that there, and then that could do for perhaps 2 or 3 days. And how I would offer that then is that I would I'll try and bring it again. I would offer that is that I would offer one day with rice, the next day with couscous, the next day with quinoa. So you're changing it up each time. So you're not offering kind of the same meal every time. You could also offer that as a curry as a finger food. So you're not blending, you're getting the chicken and you're shredding it. And you're just making sure that the vegetables are nice and soft. And then the next day we could have it blended with something like a pasta, even coating the pasta with it, so it makes it even more like a finger food, or again just with rice. So changing it up like that is actually changing the meal. This is my avocado pasta. You see that there? So I have pasta, I have avocado, I have a squeeze of lemon juice, some garlic, and some extra virgin olive oil. Don't think have any questions. This is not, it hasn't gone the way we expected. I was supposed to be on with Nicola, but hopefully that has gone on live. I see only one on, so maybe it hasn't. Hopefully we have we've done it right. But yes, so again, I hope that kind of covered all of our travel questions that you may have been thinking about. So yeah, so thank you, Weaning Week, for having me on here. I'm Siobhan Berry from Mummy Cooks, and you can find me on Instagram under Mummy Cooks. And for all of your travel accessories, then just come to us as well. So thank you so much for joining me today. And sorry I couldn't get Nicola to join. No. Okay. Bye.